And welcome to the United Stand. It's Sunday Night Live. I've got Rants, I've got Sophie. It's a bit of a Christmas special as well. What a week it's been. Santa's definitely delivered. Loads of things to talk about. Flex was going to be on, but Rants said could he please come on because he wants to do a rendition of Cliff Richard, Mistletoe and Wine at some point. I don't know, it's already raining. But I must just start off. I don't want to be clickbaity. I must just start off that the Solskjaer shot Manchester United transfer move is Memphis Depay. This has been going on for about 4 or 5 months with United. We have got a buyback clause with him, and there is an indication that United might move as early as January. We'll definitely be talking about that because I'm sure some people don't want him back, some people do. Maybe it's the perfect time to bring him back because there's no pressure for this United team at the moment. But let's start off with the week that's been. I don't know. I'll go to Rants because I think went to you, Sophie, last time. You've both not been on for a while, to be fair. But Rants, the week that's been. The first question I think everybody wants to know is obviously we won 5-1 yesterday. I'm going to be asking you both this. Where do you stand at the moment on who the next Manchester United manager should be? Because I've just watched Spurs this afternoon score 6 against Everton. We scored 5. Very, very impressive candidates who seem to be upping their game with this job in the background.
Yeah, Pochettino is. If you had a checklist, he's the most Manchester United manager that we could go for. Like, I do want Zidane, but I always said I want Zidane if he's coming in now to replace Jose. If we're going to wait till the summer anyway, then we have to do what we need to do to get Poch. Even if they cost about 24 million, pay the money, who cares? You know what I mean? It's signing a manager like him for the long term is better money spent than spending 24, 25 million on a player that might not do it. Like, he's Premier League proven. He's proven that he can build teams because he's done it at Southampton. He's done it at Spurs. And we're a big rebuilding project. So, like, in terms of trusting a manager to rebuild this team, like, there's no other manager in the game that I want, to be honest.
And so, same question to me. Because, I mean, I've got to say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I did say it this morning and after the game yesterday, my ideal situation is if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does really well, why would I want Pochettino or Zidane? I love both those candidates, but if Solskjaer does well in the next 6 months, and certainly, I don't think people should be making their mind up now. That'd be stupid. But in May, we'll know what's happened in the Champions League. We'll know if we're top 4, and we'll know what he's done against Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea and Arsenal. I mean, yeah. Is that ideal for you, Soph, or are you looking at Pochettino like Rant said?
I agree completely. I've said Pochettino is my number one choice, but the way that Solskjaer has conducted himself since he's been at the club, I know it's been one game, and like you say, it'd be stupid to judge it on that one game, but you've got to admit the way he's conducted himself, the way that the players are all absolutely beaming, he's made a great start. And if it works out for him, then why not keep him on? It's like people say, why change a winning team? And I have the same attitude with the manager. Why tinker with something if it's working? So if it turns out that it's working, I don't want to replace him. I want to keep Solskjaer in. But if it doesn't turn out, then I've always said if he was available, Pochettino would be my ideal candidate. And if we waited until the summer, that tells me that Pochettino, for me, is possibly already in the pipeline.
Somebody just said, if you're wearing a Mourinho jumper. No, it's a snowman. And it's quite warm here, so it's a melting snowman, which is a bit like all these idiots out there who, and I do call them idiots because I still see it on my timeline, journalists, fans, still sticking up for Mourinho rants. It's hilarious how... I just find it hilarious that people are sticking up for Mourinho. I don't know how obvious they want it. It's like a Spot the Dog book. It is so obvious that Mourinho was the problem at United, and we've seen it. Even I heard today Lingard was thinking of leaving up until this change.
Yeah, but you know what makes me sick? What really makes me sick, is that when Jose was in, everyone was talking their shit about him, and now everyone wants to feel sorry for him. This guy made his own bed. He made his own bed, and that's it. Out on his ass, he blamed all the players, and then he came out with this fake humble bullshit saying, "Oh, I don't want to say anything like me and United are in the past." Nothing more than he signed an NDA and he's not allowed to speak. And he's trying to make it seem like he's leaving out and bowing out gracefully when he was talking shit about these guys while he was in the job only like a week before. Do you know what I mean? So, like, the whole thing is like people are very short memories in football. They like to rewrite history, man, with Mourinho's bullshit, with Roy Keane's bullshit. Everyone's forgetting that Roy Keane got thrown out the club on his ass, and now all of a sudden, like, he's the most amazing guy ever and he's a club legend. Fergie threw him out fucking mid-season to go fuck himself, but everyone forgets that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't forget those things, man. All these things happen for a reason. You're a great captain, great servant to the club, but as a person, the question marks were always all over Roy Keane. He walked out in his own fucking country, like during a tournament, and he thrown out this club. So it's like a lot of fans like to bloody forget things and rewrite history and make things the way they weren't. Like, do you know what I mean? So like, I'm sick of it. I'm glad Jose's gone. Be clear that he was the problem, and you've seen it. Oli had 2 days with these players, so tactically he couldn't have done very much.
Kyle Gianan says, you guys a few months ago said Zidane was the number one choice. Why Poch all of a sudden? Zidane's still my number one choice. I haven't changed. I'd just be very happy with Pochettino or Zidane. I think they're both good candidates. I personally would go for Zidane. I think a lot would go for Pochettino. I also just want to say on Roy Keane, I totally disagree with Rance in one sense that he's my favourite player I've ever seen in the United shirt. But on another sense, what I always say is, make your own bloody mind up. You know, Roy Keane said that the tackle on Luke Shaw was a fair tackle. That for me was like, this is the prime example of don't be Pied Pipered. Just because you're in awe of somebody, don't listen to everything they say. Whether it's Gary Neville, Peter Schmeichel, Roy Keane, Brian Robson, whoever, make your own mind up, because they all come out with things that you're going to disagree with. People come out with things that we disagree with. I would just say, make your own mind up. Don't feel that because they're on the telly or anything like that, you've got to go along with it. Because I think a lot of people have made mistakes. I mean, even Rooney's come out, Soph, and said that, you know, even the tea lady's not happy. I know on Sunday night shows over the last 2 months, we've been talking about Rooney sticking up for Mourinho. So I think some of them just go along with when the manager's there, let's back the manager, and then when they've gone, they stick the knife in. I mean, I've got more respect for you lot because actually you've been saying that. But let me just ask you, Sophie, I want to bring the Memphis Depay in thing here, and obviously talk about the other bits if you want to. But where would you stand on Memphis Depay coming back to Manchester United?
Memphis Depay, he's absolutely flying at the minute, and if he comes into a team where it's fearless, where they're given the freedom to attack, and he's not going to be terrified to take risks in his play, then why would you say no to bringing him back? Because he's flying at the moment. Yes, he's in the French league, but he's still been killing it against top teams in that league, and in the Champions League as well, he's been flying. So why would you? I don't know why there's a question mark over it. For me, I would snap the hands off and bring him back right away, because if he's playing in a team where we're going to be playing free-flowing football, we will see the best out of Memphis. Not in a team where it's restricted, because then it will definitely not work out. But at the moment, I think this is the ideal time to bring him back.
You know what?
In terms of
go on.
Roy Keane as well, I think Roy Keane as a player, got the most respect for him, fantastic player, great character in the dressing room, but people were moaning on Jose Mourinho saying he's too harsh on players and that players are scared to take risks. I know for a fact if I was a creative player, I'd be terrified to make a mistake under Roy Keane, because he would absolutely bollock you and he'd rip shreds off you in front of the other players in the dressing room. Now people were saying that Jose Mourinho was too harsh. Just think what Roy Keane would be like. He would be 10 times worse for me. Fantastic player, but I think as a person he seems a bit of a tool. That's my honest opinion.
I've got 2 against 1 here. But you know what? I'm going to bring this in as a little bit of a promo here, because I'm sure you're both going to agree with me. Just to pick up on that, I'll go to you on Rants. Like, you know, if you think about this game that's going to go on telly tomorrow, on telly on YouTube, Arsenal Fan TV versus United Stand, you've got somebody who was very, very mouthy, very, you this, you that, and then you've got us who just turn up, respect for each other, don't really know each other, but let's all be together. But let's have a bit of a laugh. Let's not listen to any external noise. Let's go out and express ourselves. We turn up half an hour before and win the game. They're building something, but it's all about and I think that's the modern game, isn't it? The dictator era is probably over. You'd wonder how maybe that's why Mourinho's failed.
It is why he's failed, and that's why Roy Keane is a failed manager. Like, at the end of the day, like, I very much believe compartmentalizing. Like, I can respect someone's achievements, respect their ability, and not like them as a person. Like, these two things are not married, innit? Like, as a person, I think Roy Keane is a bellend. Do you know what I mean? And that won't change. But as he's one of United, if not our greatest captain ever, and he gave the club so many great memories. But as a person, we can't forget that. So Alex Ferguson threw him out. Do you know what I mean? Forget that. We can't forget he walked out in his country. We can't forget that he talks shit all the time. Like, it doesn't mean I don't respect what he done for the club because I think he's a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? There's a complete difference. Floyd Mayweather is my favorite boxer of all time, but I never want to meet him because I know that in real life I won't like the guy. Like, it is what it is. Like,
it's like Gaza, isn't it? You know, Gaza's one of the best players I've ever seen in an England shirt, but he clearly hasn't got much upstairs. It's a shame, but you know he hasn't. But put him in the prime. And he's a joy to watch. You're right. I think that's the same in anything in life. Like you say, you talk about Floyd Mayweather. We all have our idols, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes as to whether they're a decent person or not.
But this is it, and it shouldn't matter when you're judging their talent. Like, you don't have to judge someone as a person on their talent and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, utmost respect for Roy Keane as a player for the club and a servant, and the same with Gary Neville. But between the pair of them, they talk shit. Even Wayne Rooney, he's coming out now talking all this shit about Jose. He was kissing his ass last week. Do you know what I mean? So everything what Wayne Rooney said on BT Sport, like, no respect from me, because where were you talking when he was still at the club? Because you'd left. Why didn't you say all this now?
I'm sure he said a couple of months ago as well. It's the players not putting the effort in as well. And then last night he's totally the way.
And he's on the bandwagon. That's why fan channels are so fucking important, because all of these pundits, these ex-pros and these professionals and that, they're all in each other's pockets, man. Like, no one wants to say anything. Everyone's gagged. Everyone's media trained, and they know when they want to say anything. That's why I respected Rio and Paul Scholes when they were like, you know what? Like, Mourinho fucking these guys up. I respected that, because what Rooney's shown is that, like, he's obviously either not a man of his word, or he's being told what he can and can't say. And either way, like, as fans, we don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a good point in from Charlie Davenport. We're talking about this director of football. Apparently, we're looking at the guy, Mitchell's his name. He was at Southampton with Pochettino, and then he's now at RB Leipzig. But Peter Schmeichel's come out and said director of football. What are your thoughts on that, Sophie, about Peter Schmeichel as director of football?
Well, he's had no experience of being that. Come on, we start recruiting all the class of '92 now as well, along with it. I just think everyone just wants to be a part of it at United because there's so many jobs going in that, and I just think, yes, we need to look forward and we need to find an identity, but I think we've already said on this show months ago that the Fergie era has gone. Solskjaer coming back, yes, it's romantic and we love it, but come on, I think everybody's just jumping, like you said, jumping on the bandwagon. Everybody wants to be a part of it at United because I know that we are a bit of a mess at the minute, but I think Schmeichel, yes, it's romantic, the idea of him coming back, but we've got to think practically. He's not had any experience in the role, and we need somebody who's experienced right now coming into this club.
Yeah, fuck that. I didn't Peter Schmeichel play for Man City, bro. Like, I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Another thing that people forget. Fuck off, man.
Give it to Michael Owen.
Yeah.
That's it. Bro, I'm telling you, like, if you're going to bring someone, get Eric Cantona in or something, or bring in Edwin van der Sar, but not Peter Schmeichel, bro. Piss off. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's got to be somebody who knows what they're doing as well. It's an important role. Exactly. You don't need a club.
It has to be.
Yeah, you don't need to be a club associate for that.
You're going to bring in Poch. You got the guy RB Leipzig. Yeah, he scouted extremely well because they've done really well, climbed up the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Like, they've got a little bit of money and that, but they signed very, very well. When you look at Poch, that's the same guy that brought in Dele Alli, that got Toby Alderweireld for like 6 million. That got Kieran Trippier. Like, those are the kind of guys that you want to bring in, because Spurs didn't spend big money on these players. And United are notorious for overplaying for bog standard footballers. I say 75 million for Lukaku will haunt me for the rest of my life. So it's one of them things. Gabriel Jesus cost 27 million. Where were our scouts? Do you know what I mean? So I just think that someone like that needs to come in. We need someone from like an Atletico or a Leipzig or something like that. People that are good at getting in top quality players at a bargain, man, and young players as well. This Peter Schmeichel thing is a farce.
John Juan Kenobi says Goldbridge should be director of football. Well, it's interesting because I am quite good at FIFA and I'm getting Football Manager for Christmas, so that's going to improve my scouting network as well. So, give me a couple of weeks, I'll let you know. But no, seriously, look, let's go back to this Memphis thing because I want to get Rance's point on this. The Memphis thing that I think about it is I've always said I don't think you should go back in life. I really don't. I think it's a bad idea. But I think my concern about Memphis is knowing the media. And the media are already starting to nitpick at Solskjaer. They're trying it. They'll be all over Memphis. But I think January is the perfect time because there's no pressure. If he came in January in this team, he could embed himself over 4 or 5 months, move past the media bullshit, and then next season be ready. I think January would be the perfect time with that first refusal that we've got on him to go and do it. And there are rumours that we could, and we do need somebody who is more of a. Well, we need another player really, because if you look at yesterday, the front four with Lingard, Martial, Rashford were great. Mata can do that position as well. I don't think Lukaku can work in that system. So who else is there apart from kids? So I think we need somebody Do you think Memphis? You're a big fan of his, yeah?
Massive fan of Memphis, and I even said we shouldn't have sold him. Him and Davey Blinn, big mistakes, man. Do you know what I mean? And it's like in the free-flowing team, like yesterday, Jesse Lingard was playing up front at the end, man. This is what I said. I said a fluid front three is what United can play. We don't have any wingers, so we don't play wingers. We play three forwards, and they just interchange. Is always going to cause problems. You got Martial, Rashford, Sanchez will be amazing in that system. Well, Lukaku doesn't fit that system. You throw Chong in that system, he can play from the right. Gomez can play anywhere in that system. Mason can play anywhere in that
Alexis
system.
Sanchez, we forgot about him.
Yeah.
This is it. And then you throw Memphis in there as well. And people are forgetting, not only is he doing well in France, but the guy is carrying his country, man. Internationally, he's doing it. Like, he's playing more centrally now. You know what I'm saying? And he's a big personality in that dressing room for his country. He's carrying his club team as well. His goals and assists are ridiculous. And he's doing it in the Champions League. He's a Manchester United player. He always was.
He still loves the club as well, doesn't he? He still loves United.
Yeah, he talks about it a lot. Yeah.
He was wearing a Beckham shirt the other day.
Yeah. I want to touch on Lukaku as well in the system though, because yesterday, if you looked at a link up from Rashford, like playing it into his feet, little one touch off him. Yeah, no way is that happening with Lukaku. His first touch is a tackle. Like no way would he fit into that. Exactly. Where would Lukaku fit into that? No way would he be playing that one touch. He's still thinking about what happened like 10 minutes before. Like he's not getting reaction at all. That was all instinctive. He hasn't got those instincts, and I just think that he doesn't fit into that at all.
Well, everyone says about Lukaku, it's Belgium, isn't it? But in a Belgium team, he's on the end of everything. He's not part of building it up. He's got De Bruyne and Hazard making it happen. Yeah. That goal, like you said, Rance, that goal, Martial knocks it into bloody Lukaku instead of Pogba, and he's got a black eye because it's whacked him in the face. Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? It's a serious point, though. He does not fit in to what Ollie was doing.
It's already in 2019, like it's already in the new year. That's how bad Lukaku is, and I just think that. Don't get me wrong, we're creating lots of chances. Yesterday we created lots of chances, and he will bag more goals, of course he will. But I just think the kind of goals he'll get is like scrappy little tap-ins and stuff. No way if he's going to be involved in this kind of build-up playing. I just think if anything, it'll hold people.
None of our goals yesterday come from crosses. None of them come from crosses. They come from cute little interplays. Pogba was oozing yesterday. Like, do you know what I mean? And it was just... He was almost playing like a fourth striker. Like, he was playing in the front four. Ander Herrera bossed that midfield beautifully. Matic was trying to pass and be a bit more expansive. And Pogba was on the end of everything. The ball would drop into him in the box. He was flying forward and he was creating, innit? Like, that's what he does. So I feel like there's no space for Rom in this team. Like, there's no space for the guy. Like, I think, if anything, he'll just get in the way. So I think that his days are numbered at the club.
I really want to just go through a couple more topics, but because it's the Christmas special and we're coming towards the end of the year, I really want to just get a load of questions for Sophie and Rance, and I'll take some as well in the live comments, but we'll just cover a couple of more topics. I know, because I follow Rance on Twitter, and I see a lot of this about Pogba. So, Soph, I reckon if I went back through the videos, you had started to get a little bit frustrated with Pogba. Where do you stand now, having seen that? I thought it was a 10 out of 10 yesterday. I know it was only Cardiff, but... Well, I loved that pass to Herrera. I know Herrera's goal was deflected, but the pass, he won it back. Yeah. It was like the perfect 3 seconds. He won it back, he fought, he held him off, and then he played the brilliant pass. And that, to me, is what Pogba is. He's a culmination of things. But where do you stand on Pogba now? Because I'm not going to say, consistency is the thing with Pogba, and he could be inconsistent against Huddersfield, but I think we're going to see the best of him. What are your thoughts?
I've always said Pogba is my favourite player. I've always said it, and I think he was always going to be judged harshly because of what we paid for him. Of course he was. And I think that Jose Mourinho, there's no doubt, obviously hindered him, because I said at times he did frustrate me because he was taking too many touches in the middle, but he was having to take too many touches because he was looking up and there was literally nothing in front of him. And I just think that he will get judged because of his price tag, and it did frustrate me some of the times, his reactions, but it's obviously down tools. He didn't get on with Jose Mourinho. Yesterday I thought he was faultless. He was absolutely fantastic, and like you said, it's consistency. There's no doubt in his ability, absolute world-class ability, and I've always said that with Pogba, and I think that was what frustrated me, because he's got that talent and he's got the ability, and we just want to see it week in, week out. Under Jose Mourinho, we were never going to see it week in, week out, but in free-flowing attacking football where he's not restricted, we're not relying on him defensively, because that's not his game. We want to see Pogba going forwards, and look at the pass for Lingard, weighted perfectly yesterday. That's just what he can provide, and I think no other player in our team can play that kind of pass. He made it look easy, and I just think that that's Paul Pogba. We want to see him driving forward, being the creative Pogba that we need in our team, and there's no player like him in the league.
I tell you what was good about that, Rance, as well, is that, and I'm sure you would have seen it as well, I'm sure all of us would have seen it because we've all played football, is that under Mourinho, Herrera doesn't make that run. So Pogba's in that position with 3 players around him, and he's either got to pass backwards or he loses possession. And then everyone goes, oh, look at Pogba, he's lost possession. But then you've got a manager who says, I want my midfielders to move, and then Herrera's in the space, and then we score a goal from it. And that's it. I think Pogba gets a lot of stick. Well, he won't anymore, because in a Mourinho team, also, no one makes the run.
But also, Herrera wouldn't have taken that shot under Jose.
No.
He would have looked for a pass. And that's just the difference. Like, when people talk about Pogba, it infuriates me, innit? Not only is there not a player like him in the game, there's not a player like him in the world. Like, let's not get it twisted. Paul Pogba is a number 8, yeah? Like, he's in the ilk of like a Phil Coutinho or an Iniesta. Like, he's that kind of player, but he just happens to be big and powerful. So people look at him and they think that he's supposed to be some marauding box-to-box midfielder. He's a creative number 8. Like, he's technically, he can pass with both feet. He can play your intricate passes. He can play one-touch passes. He can shoot with both feet. He can score headers. The guy is amazing. Like, that's how good he is. We haven't seen the best of him. People don't judge him at what he's good at. People want him to do everything. And that's just all it comes down to. Like, Paul Pogba is immense. Like, yesterday, I think that for him, that was an 8 out of 10. Because a player of Pogba's ability, I don't think he shoots enough. And he'll get more goals. Like, he'll get more goals. The guy he's different gravy. Like, even for the ball to Herrera, he won the ball, shrugged the guy off and left him on his face. How many players do you know that can bounce someone off like that and then play a pass with enough finesse at the right weight so that Herrera can just take a touch and bang it? Jesse's goal, the pass, missed the defender by that much and stopped right in front of Jesse, so he didn't have to break his stride, just went round him. Like, the intricate, like, just, brother, he's just different gravy. I don't understand the stick that he gets. I think it's laughable.
I think the thing with Pogba yesterday, what made him stand out as well, is the fact that, like, for Jesse's goal, for example, where he's hunting, he's trying to win the ball back. We saw that side of him yesterday, where if he took a risk and the pass, he tried a few switches where he gave the ball away. But the hunger in him, Solskjaer, obviously, we know after the game that I think Lingard said that he told us if you lose the ball, get it back. And it was obvious yesterday. He lost the ball, but his work rate to try and win the ball back and the hunger. And that's what we haven't seen enough of from Pogba. And yesterday we saw it. And I think that's the side of the game as well that goes unnoticed. Like you say, he's big and powerful. And he will take risks. And of course, he'll lose the ball at times. But it's more about him showing the hunger to get the ball back. And that's what we want to see, that desire.
We saw that in the first half an hour yesterday, didn't we? The risk taking. We were rusty because we're not used to playing that way, but there were so many risks in it. I'm just going to read some of the super chats, then we'll come back. Ray Carla Amore says, you can't go Primark looking for Harrods quality. That's football we had under Jose Mourinho. I look forward to seeing what Ollie or someone else brings to United. Sharath Kamath Fitness says, Memphis can play as a CAM or a support striker too now. Shariland says, Pulisic or Depay or Martial, Greenwood and Rashford. Sharath Kamath Fitness, can we see Rant smile once please? I've seen him laugh already. I don't know what you're on about. GBad90 says, greetings from Norway, absolutely buzzing from the positivity over the week. Last week I didn't want to see any games, now can't wait. The Machine94 says, Merry Christmas, go Man United up the Ollie. And Bradley Lockhart says, Poch equals the Poch way, Solskjaer equals the United way. So I want to see that develop over the next few weeks because that means Solskjaer's doing well. We've also had a question that I'm going to get you two to answer. It's Ali Risa. He says, I need help. Subway, McDonald's or Harvey's? We'll go to you, Rant. Subway, McDonald's or Harvey's?
I don't even know what Harvey's is, bro.
No, I don't. It's Bristol Cream Sherry, isn't it?
I thought it was a furniture store. What's that?
Yeah, bro, I don't know what that is, bro. It has to be McDonald's because Subway is dead, bro. And plus, like, when you come out of a club at night time, but McDonald's is always open, so you got to go with reliability, bro.
So,
I would agree. McDonald's for me. It's making me hungry, though, that question. I'd definitely go with McDonald's.
I'm tempted to go Harvey's because I just don't know what it is. But I think the hat trick.
Buy a bed from Harvey's.
Hat trick for Harvey's. Also, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has apparently said that Mason Greenwood will start against Reading, which obviously that would never happen with Jose Mourinho. Do you expect? I'll go you, Soph. Do you expect to see? Well, no. I'll ask you both this question. Actually, it's United stand. We don't do easy questions. What was Phil Jones starting yesterday? Phil Jones. I'm even going a bit Welsh. What was Phil Jones doing? Do you think it was because we were playing in Wales? I just don't get that one. I mean, I think we're all very, very positive, but that was that and Young. I thought, why is Delo and Bailly not playing? But what was your thoughts on that?
I thought Young. Obviously, McKenna, Carrick had a part to play in that choice as well. I think Young, captain. Maybe he wanted someone, because let's not face it, Young is a good character in the dressing room, and I think new manager coming in is that bit of stability. I know defensively he gets caught out a lot, but I think in terms of character, I think I kind of agree with that choice yesterday with a new manager coming in, playing in a new system, and he does have like a good relationship with all the players on the pitch and that, so I can kind of see that choice. Jones was not as clear to me. I'm not really sure why. Maybe he's just trained really well in the week and he's based it on that. No idea. Maybe he's thought whoever trains the best this week, I'm going to give them a shot at centre back. That's the only reason I can really see, because his performances over the last few weeks. He scored an own goal 3 weeks ago. He hasn't really done much to earn the space, has he? I thought he did well yesterday, to be fair, but I think for me, maybe he's just trained better. Maybe it's based on performances in training, because we obviously don't see that side of it, and maybe that's just the way he made the decision. I don't know. Yeah,
because Eric Bailly, for me, Rance, I thought he was excellent against Liverpool. Also came in right at the last minute, and then he's out for Phil Jones. I mean, that was one thing that I just thought, and I think, as we were saying before, you've got to keep your opinions real. I ain't going to be a hypocrite. I did think, what the hell is Phil Jones doing in the team?
Let's not forget it's Christmas as well, though. There's a lot of rotation. I wouldn't be surprised if Jones starts next game. So.
But this is it. That's why I didn't say nothing, because I saw the lineup here and I thought, you know what? People always moaning about me being negative and that. And to be honest, it's because I love my football club. Jose is a virus and he made me sick. I just didn't even want to watch United play anymore. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've missed the Manchester United game, and I reckon 90% of them are under Jose Mourinho. So that tells you everything there is to know, man. So when I saw the Phil Jones thing, I thought, you know what, this is bullshit. However, you know what, let's just keep it positive today. It's Ollie's first game. I know that Ollie didn't really pick that team. Michael Carrick definitely picked that team. Do you know what I mean? When you're looking at Phil Jones and Ashley Young,
Mike Phelan likes them as well, doesn't
he? Yeah, because Ollie's only been there a couple of days. But what's going to happen is Fred came on and he looked sweet, man. Fred looked so cultured when he come on. It's only a matter of time before Ollie starts to see what Fred's do, throw him.
Yeah.
In the low will come in. I think Ollie will see the kind of football we need to play, and you'll start moving guys out, and you'll start to see Ollie's team. But I don't think we're going to see Ollie's team probably until after Christmas.
Boxing Day, I hope.
Yeah.
Are you going Boxing Day, Safe?
Yeah, I'm going. Can't wait.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was that close to going, but a bit like Rance, it was like family commitment on Boxing Day, and I was like, yeah, I'll definitely come, because Mourinho's going to be in charge. It's Huddersfield. No way. But I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go up to Reading. I know it's only FA Cup Reading and it's on the telly, but I'm thinking I'm going to go to Reading because Mason Greenwood's going to play, and I want to be there for that. Which means, having said that, in front of about 30,000 people, tickets are going to sell out fast now, aren't they? But I want to see Mason Greenwood in the flesh, so I'm looking forward to going to that one. But it's great that the club's got that back, and really, really positive about it. Kimberly Bailey says, look at Pogba now. The players are showing their class. The previous maestro was just whack. We got him out. It will only get better. Glory, Lang United. If people want to back Jose Mourinho, fine, because he ain't coming back to United no matter how much you back him. So keep singing your songs. He ain't coming back. And I saw a journalist this week actually talking about, Manchester Evening News journalist, saying Pogba's attitude isn't great. There was people booing him at the last game. I wouldn't be surprised if people boo him on Boxing Day. And I thought, how immature is that? You know that millions of people are reading your article and you're cleverly planting a seed to make people boo Pogba on Boxing Day. They ain't going to bloody boo him on Boxing Day now. No way, because the positivity's back. Everyone needs to just shut up and accept that Mourinho is gone. He was the virus. And if you support this club, I supported David Moyes. I never wanted Moyes as manager. I gave him about 3 weeks, but I still backed him for 3 weeks. You've got to give this new regime and everybody, and I want to get your 2 points on this, everybody deserves a second chance, and everybody in history knows you don't sack the entire team, you always sack the manager. It's the circle of life. Maybe it's not fair, it's the circle of football, but that's just the way it goes. And you've got to give the players a second chance. And I don't like Matic. I think he's still too slow. But even one of Jose's boys yesterday, he did have a good game, because there's a change in what they're being told to do.
Yeah, because every time he got the ball yesterday, he looked forwards. Whereas before it was like play it safe, he was trying to pass his side backwards. His head was constantly looking forwards yesterday. He played one pass where he threaded it through to Jesse, which is absolutely fantastic. Started an attack. I think it was one that led to Pogba's shot, which saved the keeper. But that kind of pass, no way would you see that played under Jose Mourinho. It was too risky.
But this is it, and that's why I was fuming. I said a million times, what we see week in, week out, this United team do is obviously what these guys have been told to do on the training ground. Because how come Ashley didn't play a single backward pass yesterday? And that guy all he does is play backward passes and sideway passes. Same with Matic. Like, Herrera was a number 8 when we bought him. He was a ball-playing, box-to-box central midfielder. And then all of a sudden, like, he's passing 2-yard passes and not passing forward. Like, it's the manager. It's very clear it was the manager. So the football we played yesterday, as I said, tactically, Ollie couldn't have done too much with these guys. He's only had them a couple of days. And Jesse just said, go out there, enjoy your football, be positive. If you lose it, win it back. And the stats came up. This is the first time that we've outworked any of our opponents in a game this season. And not only that, there's a stat that they throw up. It's called the PPDA.
Yeah, you can explain this because I've seen it. I don't know what it is. We got a 4 though, didn't we? The best in Europe or something like that.
Yeah, we got a 4. And what that means is how many passes your opposition team make before you make a defensive action and win the ball back. Man City averages 6 and we got a 4. So that tells you how hard we pressed and how well we won the ball. Like, that number is crazy. Because that means they weren't getting more than 4 passes on average before we won the ball back from them. And these are some of the same players that people were saying weren't good enough, were saying they were lazy. Pogba's running around kicking people and getting in trouble. So, when you attack defend as a team, like, Victor Lindelof ran 50 yards with the ball and played a through ball. Like, what the hell?
I saw matches do an overlapping run at one point. I nearly fainted.
Our centre-back were running past our midfield. Phil Jones done it. Lindelof done it. Yeah. Lindelof, one of the most comfortable players on the ball in our squad. Like, that's what you want a ball-playing centre-back to say. And Jose said, we don't have a ball-playing centre-back. We need one. Victor Lindelof is a ball-playing centre-back. Daley Blind was a ball-playing centre-back, and you sold him. Do you know what I mean? Like, the guy is a clown, and he managed to turn the fans on Martial and turn the fans on Pogba. And since we signed Martial, his output, goals to assist ratio, is the highest in the club since he's been there. So, like, it's very clear what the problem was.
People feeling sorry for Jose Mourinho on that, but the pictures of him after he was sacked as United manager, he's looked healthier than happier than he has done for the past few months, past few years, should I say?
Well, his bank balance is definitely healthier, isn't it?
Healthy payout, exactly. He's had a healthy payout, and he's obviously buzzing. To be honest,
he hated the job anyway. You could tell he hated the job.
Yeah, he wanted it.
Anyway, I want to get into some of the quick. What we're going to do is we're going to go through some questions now because it is the Christmas special, and I'm going to go Rance and Sophie, and sometimes they can both answer it. But try and keep your answers quick so we can take as many as possible. We have had a super chat from Nicholas P saying, other than the odd own goal, calamity, and funny facial expressions, is Jones that bad? We used to say he was great but injury prone. But there's a question here from Kazra. I'll put you both this. We'll go Rance on this one first. Fellaini, he said, what are your thoughts on Fellaini in the team now? He did come on for the last couple of minutes. Does he have a future?
He doesn't. Not in the way we play football. The thing is with Mario and Fellaini, his best position for me is off the front man, and we're not playing that football anymore. So he doesn't have a long-term future at the club. Absolutely not.
Mourinho is finished forever, says Craig McSee. I don't really care what he does. If he goes to Real Madrid and wins the Champions League and people say we shouldn't get rid of him, they don't understand football. He was never a Manchester United manager. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter if he goes anywhere else and does it. Kay Brennan's talking about Liverpool, 48 points, good goal difference 38. So we'll sort of develop that point because it was something I was meant to ask anyway. Spurs very impressive today. City, Liverpool. Do you think it really is about Chelsea and Arsenal slipping up, and is it 3 clubs going for 4th? And do you still think that is still a bit of a stretch for us to get?
Look, I said this before it happened. I said if you get a new manager, the momentum will be with us. We'll be positive. I'm not writing top 4 off, to be honest with you. Yeah, we are relying on others slipping up, but I think we've got the momentum. Players are buzzing, and confidence is a massive factor. So I'm not writing it off at all. I think we can still do it.
Doc says Liverpool are better than Man United. You're going to tell me that B comes after A? You beat us a week ago and you're ahead of us in the league. You know, we've got more titles than you. Facts. You know, come out with something that's not actually a silly comment, to be honest with you. Indy Kiko says that Fellaini would be a good plan B, C. Well, I agree with Rance. I think it's more about what we're going to do as a club now. I don't think we'll ever be going long ball again and long live that sort of mentality. We never did under Sir Alex. Right, chuck your questions in because I've got to get some questions at the people. Douglas Costa in January, Rance. What are your thoughts about him? Michael Scofield says Douglas Costa in January.
I'm a big fan of Douglas Costa, but for me, like, what is he? He must be, 26?
I think he's actually 27, yeah.
Like 26, 27, bro. I just play Tong there, man. I'm not trying to spend money on Douglas Costa right now. Like, I think we do need a left-sided player on the right just to give us that balance with the inverted wingers. But to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of signing people in January unless like they're definitely, I know they're going to do the job in it. Like if we get Toby in January, I'm happy. Premier League proven centre half, he's not going to hurt us. But to be honest, man, I'll give Chong a run of games, man, from that right hand side. Like I wouldn't spend money on Douglas Costa in January. I don't think we need to spend any money on players until the summer. Like I think we're all right.
Louis has a very good question here. I'm going to ask you both this, but I'll go to you first, Sophie. He says, which players don't have a future in a Manchester United shirt?
Fellaini's definitely got to be one of them. I don't think Lukaku has one either. Fellaini, Darmian as well. I'm going to say Fellaini, Lukaku and Darmian.
Yeah, interesting. And I spoke about this on my match reaction yesterday, Rance. I said, look, as much as everything's positive, I do think if the club really want to get back to the top, it's time to be ruthless. We've still got a lot of deadwood. I mean, for you, any expansions on Darmian, Lukaku, and well, maybe you want to keep Lukaku and Fellaini. I don't know. Who do you think's not got a future?
Lukaku, Fellaini have to go. Phil Jones has got to go. I think Smalling, you keep him because he's a good backup. I think because if you think about it, if we get a top centre back in, then we've got say Toby for instance, and then we've got Bailly or Lindelof that can play with him. And then we've got Smalling. We don't need Phil Jones. So Phil Jones can leave.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think that midfield-wise, I think long-term, Matic isn't a Manchester United player and he'll be moved on. But, yeah, I don't mind Darmian, to be honest, because Darmian's flexible. He can play left-back and right-back. And also, like, he can slot in at centre-half if you need him. I think he would be a good replacement for Ashley Young because I don't believe Ashley Young's really got much left in him. I think after this season,
more his character, isn't it?
Yeah, we shouldn't be playing Ashley Young more. No. Like after this season, I don't think Ashley Young should be starting left back or right back, bro. I think Darmian can do both of them roles, and he can play centre off. I'd keep Darmian. He's younger, and get rid of Ashley Young. Keep him at the club, but I think he's done in football, man.
A few people talking about Wilfried Zaha. I would bloody love Wilfried Zaha at United. I think he's a very, very good player, but he will never come back. He was very unimpressed with how he was dealt with, and it sounded unimpressive. So I don't think he'd ever come back. Do you think we will get the contract renewals? Says Charlie Davenport. Personally, I think Phil Jones will be signing a new contract very soon, which is, I don't agree with it. And this is what I'm on about, being ruthless. I think you've got opportunities there to move Deadwood out. And, you know, Deadwood is obviously not a very nice saying, but it's about improving the squad, and we need to be ruthless and aggressive in the transfer market, and I don't think we've done that over the last 6 years. Leon Bailey would be tough to get, but I'd like him.
This is the problem with having Carrick there and stuff like that, because these guys are too close to the players. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because Phil Jones should have been out on his arse, bruv. He scored too many own goals. He doesn't stay fit. There's no reason why Phil Jones should be anywhere near our team, bruv. Like, and the thing is, people like Michael Carrick will keep him there, unfortunately. And that's why when people are like, yeah, the class of 92, keep them in there, they're going to keep their mates in there, bruv. Like, we don't need someone that's going to do that. And that's why I think a Pochettino, if he comes in, like, he's got no loyalty to any of these guys. If they're not good enough, he'll send them out on their arse. And I think we need someone that's just going to give us a clean slate. We shouldn't be seeing Sir Alex Ferguson players still playing for us now, man. Fergie's been gone for over 6 years. De Gea's the only player that played under Sir Alex that should really be anywhere near our starting lineup.
Philip Burtonwood says, what do you make of Rooney backing Jose in October? And once he gets the sack, he said the players were fed up with Jose. We've actually spoken about that, Philip, and we've all said we all thought that had happened, and it's a little bit weird how you do that and then you wait till after. I think there's a lot more credibility, like Rance says, in fan channels and fans who make their mind up and stick by it, even though it gets a bit toxic. Mark G says, Mark, you mentioned Costas Manolas earlier as a defensive option. What do Sophie and Rance think of bringing him in? I'll ask that in a minute. Amma Hassan says, Toby would be good for low fee. Don't need Depay or Sahar, another winger striker. I think we do. And Nicholas P, how can we justify hiring Ollie if he does well in 6 months? Normally clubs give a manager a summer transfer window at least to prove themselves. Well, that's going to be a very interesting one to discuss in the coming weeks, because, you know, we shouldn't get too carried away. We've got Spurs coming. Well, we could lose on Boxing Day. I don't think we will. I think Bournemouth will be a tough game. Newcastle away, we lost there last year. So there are some, he's got to jump a few hurdles, but I think it's going to be a positive few weeks leading up to that Spurs game, which not only will be a tough game, but it'll also be Poch versus Ollie, wouldn't it? So that's going to be really interesting. Yeah. But Costas Manolas, Soph, do you know anything about him?
Yeah.
What's thoughts as a centre-back option linked to him now?
To be honest, he wouldn't be my first choice. Obviously, yeah, he's a very good centre back. It's pretty solid. But for me, like Rance has already touched on it, Toby, Premier League proven, he would be the one I would go for. To be honest with you, Koulibaly, I must admit, has impressed me in the past as well, past few months. But I think if I'm choosing one centre back, then it would be Toby, be my number one choice, purely for the fact that he's experienced in the Premier League, and I think he'd be a great leader for our back line.
See, I think he's finished, Toby Alderweireld. I've watched him a few times this last 8 months, and I think he's a bit of a Matic. I think he's a good centre back. He needs to adjust his game. He can still be a top centre back, but he's lost a yard of pace and he's struggling with it. He wasn't. I don't think he's a bad signing, but I don't think people should think he's Toby Alderweireld of 2 years ago. He needs to adjust his game like Rio did, and if he does that, he can still be a good signing. But at the moment, he's still defending like he's still got that yard of pace, and I've got my concerns about him. But look, he's better than what we've got. Rance Tamjid says, Rojo the forgotten man. Do you think he should stay forgotten, or do you think he's got a future?
No, I think Rojo is another player that I'll keep because he's flexible. The guy can play left he can play left wing back, he can play left centre back, and he can play left back, and he can play centre back. Players like Marcos Rojo, he's left-footed, he's committed, he's young, and he can play in multiple positions. You always need players like that. United always had players like John O'Shea that could play across the whole back line and play in midfield if we needed. We do need squad players. Like, people need to stop thinking about the starting lineup, man. Like, we've always had a squad. Like, when we won the treble, it was a squad achievement. Do you know what I mean? The two guys that scored the winning goals, them guys didn't start week in, week out for us. Like, they didn't. Do you know what I mean? So I think people need to look at what the players bring to the table. I think the versatility of Rojo, his age, everything's on his side. So I think that
to bring the ball out from the back as well. He's not scared to put the ball at his feet.
He's technically very good, and he's a fearless player. He's fearless, and he'll get stuck in. Like, he'll wrap someone like into the stands if he needs to. Like, I need a defender that's gonna do that every now and then. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I love Rojo. He is rash, but who cares, man? Do you know what I mean? Like, who really cares? Like, if in doubt, just kick him off the pitch, innit? Like, you need someone that's gonna do that. So, like, I'm here for Marcos Rojo staying. Absolutely.
Samanga says, I want to see Fred develop. I think with Ollie's boost, we can perform much better in the Champions League. Well, as I've said, I think we've got no chance against PSG with Mourinho. We've got a chance now. We're still massive underdogs, but we have got a chance, so that's exciting. I want to ask, because it is the Christmas show and we are approaching the end of the year, you can't pick like yesterday's game, and I'm trying to think through my mind now. What would be a highlight of the year for Manchester United? And you can't pick Mourinho being sacked either. I don't know whether it's possible. I'm just trying to think. What have we done away from that? Which I'm just trying to reverse psychology, people, and show you that how bad it's been under Mourinho. Because I can't think, other than Mourinho being sacked and yesterday's performance, highlights of the year.
I think it's been a miserable year. Like, if I'm honest, I think it's been miserable. I think it's been a miserable 2.5 years under the guy. Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't say, man. I couldn't say there's a highlight. Like, if we can't say him getting sacked or us getting Mike Phelan and Ollie back at the club, then I don't know. I think a moment for me, which was just mad. Like, I was at the Newcastle game, innit? And obviously we were 2-0 down. Too. Like, that comeback, like, that was the closest feeling I got, to being a Manchester United fan under Jose Mourinho, coming back from 2-0 down. Like,
can I just be honest and butt in there and say, because I got to be honest and say I enjoyed it, but because I knew he was going to get sacked the day before and had gone back, I'll put my hand up and be absolutely honest and say now, I enjoyed winning, but there was a big part of me, a bit like when Van Gaal won the FA Cup. I was happy, but I was like, oh, does that mean he stays now? And that's a horrible feeling to have as a United fan, where you're happy you've won, but you're like, the big political point was, well, Mourinho's going to stay now, and I knew that was bad for us. Yeah.
I think the one, if I'm going to choose a positive, I'd probably be Martial actually being given a chance finally and scoring a few goals and kind of shoving it back down Jose's throat.
Yeah. That's a good one, yeah. I want to just say my personal highlight of the year is something that is going to be on the telly tomorrow. No, I keep saying the telly. It should be on the telly. It's going to be on YouTube tomorrow. It is United related. It's United Stand versus Arsenal Fan TV. There's a backstory to this, and I'm really looking forward to it because we were meant to play a game against them. I think it was October time. It'd been arranged for a few months, and it was meant to involve at least three people off the channel, and obviously we adhered to that and turned up and started against the team. As I hope they've kept the clip in, as Flex was shouting, No channel regulars on the opposition. They played a number of games before. We turned up half an hour before. We didn't even know most of the players. And obviously what happened. But I think that is something for you lot, the viewers, as well, to enjoy tomorrow. I mean, obviously there's a bit of a subplot. There's things going on. There's little flips over people's head, which I think you'll enjoy. But the most important thing to take away is what actually happened at the end and who actually came out on top for me. But I know you two probably got your thoughts. But that's my highlight. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was. It was, to be fair. Definitely that is the positive of the year. And I just hope they play my clip. That's what I'm begging for, because I don't think they will.
Nah, it's in there. It's definitely in there. It's definitely in there.
I think there was editorial. There was a certain person trying to get it taken out, wasn't there, Rance? But yeah, he
tried to get it taken out, man. And he was giving it the big one on Twitter. DM'd me saying, stop telling people you did this, that, and the other to me. I didn't tell anyone anything, but there were people at the game that were live streaming. They saw it, and the thing is, the clip's in the trailer. So when he's talking his rubbish, I'm going to make sure I got that clip ready, locked and loaded, and slowed down so everyone can see exactly what happened. You know what I mean? So, like, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, we beat them well. You know what I mean? And, like, it is what it was, man. That's what it is, complacency.
It is, I'm sure, look, I haven't seen the video yet, so obviously the people behind it probably do have a little bit of a slant towards the others, but hopefully I think that they will put it out there, and if they don't, then obviously we've got the clips. But the one thing that won't be out there, which I think is hilarious, is the fact that when we were driving down there, Soph, there was somebody else driving to the game, blasting his gob off as per usual on a I think it was one of them Periscope things. Well, that's disappeared. Yeah, that's disappeared along with all his bloody tweets. So
he didn't DM me anyway. I haven't had a DM, so.
Yeah.
Probably too fucking ashamed. He's probably too ashamed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know when that's going up. That's going to go up. I'd say keep your eyes out on Arsenal Fan TV. They normally put it up at 6:00, but we're on Twitter. We'll definitely be tweeting it out, and I'm certainly looking forward to watching it. And I think there's going to be a few Twitter meltdowns tomorrow, a few bullshit lies trying to protect themselves, but the truth will out. I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. We have got content coming up for you because obviously we'll be previewing the Huddersfield game and obviously the Boxing Day game. Flex is going to be there with fan cams, and I'm sure we'll have something going up on Christmas, maybe a best bits. I don't know, but I want to say thanks, Soph, for coming on, and have a good Christmas.
No problem. Thanks for having me on again. Merry Christmas to you as well, and I'm sure I'll speak to you at the Huddersfield game. I'm sure I'll be on a fan cam.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you to everyone as well for their support as well, because it's meant a lot being on the United stand. So I really appreciate it.
And definitely, it's a shame Flex couldn't be on because all three actually do things on the football pitch that don't involve people getting sent off. That's my contribution. But they actually do good things on the pitch. And I'm looking forward to next year. I think we've got a few games lined up next year as well, which is going to be great. And I think a few of you can come down as well. That's the sort of thing we're talking about. But and Merry Christmas to you, Rance, as well. New edition this year. Really great having you on the channel. And obviously, a lot of people will, if they haven't seen it, there's a good little bit for you tomorrow as well.
Yeah. There's bits to look forward to tomorrow. A decent goal, man, and a little bit of a little bit of rough and tumble.
Yeah,
with a few guys, but no, it was good, man. It was good, man. And, it's been a good year. In May as well, I think it was cup. Yeah, it was cup final when we got bloody stuffed by Chelsea and didn't turn. And then it's been good since then, man. It's been enjoyable. So I hope you have a good Christmas. I'm gonna do a post-match reaction anyway for the Huddersfield game because I won't be there. I got family commitments. But
you are heading back up there now. Mourinho's gone, though, aren't you? I think you said.
Yeah, absolutely, man. As soon as the new year comes in, I'll be back up there, man. But Christmas time. Loads of family commitments. I'm always running around, so I don't get to see them that much. So
yeah.
It has to be done, and then I'm back up there, man.
Yeah, and I just want to say, look, thanks everybody. I think we all say, thanks everybody who's been involved. It's not the way the United stand works. It's not like we're not going to be on tomorrow. There will be some content going up tomorrow, but really, really appreciative to everyone who's got involved with this channel, whether you're new or old. It keeps going from strength to strength, and I think it really matters because. As Rance has touched on, and Sophie as well, you've got opinions and you stick by them. And, there's people who've worn the shirt of our club who are legends, and I don't agree with their opinions. and you lot, I do respect it, because a lot of it I see the same people. I always shout Andrew Ellis out. He never wanted Mourinho from 2 years ago, and he used to get loads of stick, and he sat there now with a big W, like, yes, I was right. And I do respect your opinions. You're all fantastic, and you're a big part of what this channel is all about. So we look forward to the new year, and we're going to have a very exciting future at Manchester United. I can see that there is going to be excitement. We'll have more dips, but that's football. But I think with the change we've made this week, I'm hopeful that we will never go back to what we've just been through. I think we're looking at the right way, and I think Woodward finally gets it as well, because the response from all you lot will have opened his eyes. So well done. Thanks everyone for watching. Enjoy your Christmas, and keep your eye on the United stand, and also keep your eye out tomorrow, because that's going to be proper entertainment. Forget the big EastEnders plot. I don't even know what that shit is. Ian Beale's market burns down. Sod that. We've got United stand on the pitch. It's going to be good to watch. So thanks everyone. I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers. Good show. Good show.